Hello and welcome to another video. So today we're looking at Ramp Origin, at least that's what I've called this deck. It is literally just your generic, classic kind of Ramp Dragon deck. It's, of course, still not perfect just because I don't have more Queens and I don't have more Eyes Drakar, but that's fine. I have one of each and it still does the job. You could also run triple Isra if you wanted and maybe drop Zeus down to 2. There's just a few small things, but overall, the early game, basically standard ramp. Late game, big drops, hit face, do whatever you want. That's pretty much the aim. Nothing too crazy there. So we'll check it out. It's a pretty fun deck. And when I say fun, I mean downright disgusting. But anyway, it's fine.
This one's for my family.
So we're in our first matchup. They got the beautiful Starforged Legends card back. I wish I had have got that, because I still think that's one of my favourite ones so far. I just never spent the time grinding to Grandmaster. I might do it next month. I keep saying that, but it never happens. Anyway, we get our ramp, which is good. You always want ramp. Being able to get ramp is always the most important thing. And we already have one of it, so why not? We get to drop the Rahab on 3, thanks to that ramp as well, which is an extremely solid thing to play. I love using it there to block everything out. There's not much that can really be done against it. And then we get the Dragon Summoner into Dragon Sword, meaning they are really going to have to force out some damage here if they want to get through it. Otherwise, I get the free evolve ramp if I want it, provided they can't clear this 2-2. I'm usually not a big dragon fan, but in the current metas and the way things are, you don't really have a choice but to at least attempt dragon here and there, especially if you go on massive losing streaks and want to shake things up a bit. Of course, Daria is becoming a lot more prevalent, and I will have a Daria video come. Well, should have actually came out. That should have been the last video, I believe, was Daria, based on my release schedule that I've got lined up for you guys. I think tomorrow's video is either going to be Blood, Sword, or I'm not really sure why, because I haven't thought of another deck yet, but they're the two decks I'm and-ahhing about, so hopefully you guys can enjoy that. So nothing too flashy here, you know, you're ramping up, you're playing on curve, basically trying to get as much value out of your early game cards as you can, making sure that Rune doesn't have a board, because of course these Daria decks, which clearly that's what this is, you really just want to pressure their board as much as possible over and over and over again. The less board they have, the less damage they can deal to you, the harder it is for them to come back. Especially when you're running Baha, which can easily disrupt their game. So Suckwheel into Baha into Evolve is going to clear both of these. Along with the fact that we have a Blazing Breath as a backup play for next turn, should be more than enough to really solidify our lead. They're also going to have to focus on removing this 6-6, otherwise it's going to be really difficult for them to deal with, especially when I'm dealing 6 damage to face. And if they're expecting this to be a Windmill Dragon, then they're probably going to be trying to avoid letting me just outright kill them. But Chimera kills that again. Real pain in the ass, that card. We do get the Isra, which is fine. It puts a lot of board pressure down and forces them to have to remove it. So in that way, I actually don't mind that at all, especially since I can just drop Bahamut next turn if we do need to clear again. Piercing Rune, plus probably the Evolve, yep. That'll trade with the Isra quite nicely for them. And if we really don't have to play Baha here if we don't want to, it's really going to be quite a optional thing. Especially since we drew the Dragon Oracle, meaning we actually get a chance of drawing something better. And Sybil couldn't ask for something much better, being able to get that health back, while at the same time being able to clear this with the Blazing Breath, and set up Dragon Sword if we so want to, just because there's no real use for it now other than to play it out as a body. So when you get the chance, you may as well play it. The 2 Baha should be enough to apply pressure to their board, and even if they do waste their entire hand here, we still should be in a nice spot. Although it looks like they are running the pure tempo variant of Daria. I haven't tried that one out yet. I've only done the spell version of Daria, which you hopefully would have seen yesterday, so if not, you can check that out. I'm sure it will be either in the recommended there or at the end of the video. So we get the clear, really good. Get 5 damage, we don't need to sacrifice these, which is really, really good for this turn. If we sacrificed them, it would have been a little sad. And of course, Chain Lightning, 3 to face, Not really too dangerous. There's their Daria. They're going to banish their entire hand to draw a new one. Let's see what they play out. Whatever they play, Bahamut can just clear. So if they do end up dropping any kind of, you know, Oglers or Blade Mages, they're really just going to be a big waste, honestly. Especially if I can deal 5 this turn first. And Zeus, that's actually better than playing the Baha. Zeus presents a wall that's going to be really hard for them to get over, and even if they spend their turn getting over Zeus, then they still have to be able to put out enough damage to deal 18 and clear my board, which I don't think is going to be possible.
It's knowledge I seek.
And even if they do manage to somehow build enough of a board and clear me out, Bahamut follow-up turn is going to be really hard to answer. I just don't see them being able to do that easily, being able to answer this right now. Ogla, nope, not going to do it. And that's game. Next up, we're fighting Haven. So we've got Grandmaster Yami. Or Yami, I don't know how you want to pronounce that right now. But that's fine. Haven is usually a average matchup. It just depends on the luck you get and what luck they get. If they get a really good hand, it's going to be harder for you to deal with. But of course, if you get an okay hand, it's not going to be so bad. In this case, I haven't got a very good hand. But we should be able to hopefully draw into some decent stuff to at least round our plays out a little bit. And looking at what they've played, there's no reason not to play Dragon Sword. I mean, it's not going to do that much for me, and I really need to get something out. Otherwise, things like Snow White would really pressure me, and of course, they happen to have Black Inscripture in hand, so that's okay, I guess, baiting it out. I'd probably run Oro if I had one, but I ended up dusting all of those back when the Oro nerf happened, which was, God, a long time ago now. I just never bothered to get another one, especially since things are rotating out in the next expansion, so not much point. But what do we see? We've got Dragon Summoner. Okay, let's see what we get. Another Dragon Sword. At least that one should be usable next turn. That or we just throw Sybil straight on the board. Really, it's up to me on what I decide to do here. Whether it's worth throwing the Dragon Sword and the Dragoon Scyther down, or whether I just throw the Sybil and use that instead. It's really not a bad option considering Sybil could trade with this 3-4, but then Dragon Sword can also trade, so either way I think I would have been fine. But since getting Salamander, I guess saving that for next turn would be better, and then just using the Sybil to get rid of the 3-4 is enough. Plus they're going to have Turtle anyway, so not much I can really do there. But Salamander does counter Turtle, provided they don't play anything else that's going to interfere with my board. Another Black Inscripture, so there's 2 of those baited out, I guess. And Pure-Hearted Singer. And of course, they take the Evolve so they can trade, and go for 1 little damage to face. So I have the Sarkwheel Zeus combo. We can go for 7 if we use the Evolve here. But I do decide to just evolve the 1-2 here for a 3-4. Sending that face as well, obtaining a good amount of damage, I would say. And the 3-4 now acts as a half decent board. So they are basically forced to deal with it. If they don't, they're going to be in a tricky spot. And my follow-up net this next turn is probably going to be something along the lines of like Dragoon Scyther, the Salamander, something like that. And of course, it's probably most definitely going to be Salamander now, since they played the Gene, and I should be able to clear the entire board. Although we are going to take 10 damage this turn, which is a little bit of a risk, I would say. But we do get to put something on the board, which would be fine. Turn 9, we don't really have many options other than double Dragoon Scyther at this point. If we can get into the Bahamut/Zeus turn, we are actually going to be pretty good, especially if we can drop Zeus. Zeus is going to be a real threat in the next couple turns. Oh, Isra, perfect. That's much better than Scyther, being able to heal up and having a threat on board. I mean, this threatens lethal already, so they're going to have to deal with it. How they deal with it is going to be the question for this match, though. Pure Annihilation, not a card you see every day. Interesting. Don't know what they're targeting with that. Maybe Daria decks, but Can't really think of anything. And we have 3 Zeuses, so we have more than enough to just go face here. And I don't think they're going to be dealing 9 damage to me. Somehow, I just don't see that happening. I mean, that's pretty good. Taurus the Great, but it's only going to be able to deal with the Zeus, and that's about it. My follow-up Zeus is going to end this game, and Haven just didn't stand a chance. Or we could have even Eyes. Eyes would have been perfect. But more than enough damage. There we go. So this just shows that Ramp Dragon, normal Ramp Dragon can still keep up, and I'm sure with a better top end setup compared to what I've got, you could definitely do even more with this deck. I like the 1 Rehab. I think it works well, especially if you do get that good ramp, and even if you don't, it's still a solid way to block out turn 4, which against something like Daria is pretty important, so it would actually probably be worth running 2 of those instead, but we'd have to wait and see how the meta kind of shapes up over the next few days, I would say. So if you guys enjoyed the video, you'll find the deck list in the description below. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Check out the other guys' channels in the description, and I'll catch you next time. See ya!